Okay, tomorrow morning in Routt County, this is just outside Steamboat Springs, we're going to do our third freeze warning, and that'll expire around 9 a.m. and we'll hit temperatures in the upper 20s, lower 30s for these mountainous communities. But you also look at Craig and Meeker. Meeker, we had 31 degrees this morning. We had 30 this morning at Craig. So especially in the northern zones and especially in the higher elevations, we are getting some of that cold air. So the expectation, if you're in Routt County and if you're around Steamboat Springs and some of those mountain communities there, tomorrow morning will be another sub-freezing day. So starting to think a little about those 4 Ps of cold weather: people, plants, pipes, and pets. That's in no particular order of importance, but you need to get that on your mind. Also on your mind is your vehicle. As we go from October through, in my book, next May, we need to be in that winter mode. Need to be make sure your vehicle's prepared for those winter travels. Traction law is in effect. You need to have good tread on your tires. You need to either have an all-wheel drive vehicle or at least a reliable vehicle. And now's the time to do that, because in these lower elevations of the western slope, we still have mild conditions. Our morning lows are rather enjoyable. We don't have hazardous weather for the Tri-County area right now, and as we move forward through the rest of the week, there's really no expectation that we'll achieve hazardous weather. We do have some storms as expected around the Durango, the Telluride area. We even anticipated some activity around the Gunnison area, Gunnison Airport specifically, and we do have just isolated storms to the north. These locations like Kebler Pass, Ohio Pass, these areas, Irwin Lake, these areas probably getting some quickly passing storms, very light, not a whole lot of rain going on. We have to get further into the Four Corners region for more significant rain. As expressed on radar, we also have some lightning strikes. So we're going to do this. We've done this yesterday. We're going to do this again tomorrow. In fact, we'll keep those mountain storms in the southern zones. We'll keep that going through the weekend. All the while, we have our building ridge of high pressure off towards the west that really wants to overlook everything and really subscribe to that pattern with quiet weather. But we have this cutoff low pressure system that's trying to undercut beneath that. We keep the bulk of our storm activity for the Four Corners region in the Centennial State, but also down to the borderland states of New Mexico and Arizona. Remember, our parent feature is heading towards the Great Lakes region. That's going to continue trucking eastbound in the next couple days. By the end of the week, we will see this cold front off towards our north by the end of the week. This is going to dip down for us. So another afternoon tomorrow with some spotty coverage in the San Juan Mountains, more storms along the borderland states, ridge of high pressure still wanting to flex over the western half of the United States, cut off low pressure system tomorrow trying, but not very successfully, I might add, trying to undercut that high pressure system. So I'm subscribing to this as our upcoming weekend weather maker. Mostly clear skies, quiet conditions. We'll keep storms going in the mountain zones. Once we get into Friday, that backdoor cold front I talked about yesterday, that's going to come to fruition. In fact, tomorrow we'll see that cold front just starting to drop into the lower 48. By Friday, we'll see that front trying to back in. I don't think it's going to make it very far past the divide. So west of the divide, not much, but there's still a little bit of energy. So we'll still keep storms going, especially around the Four Corners, especially around the San Luis Valley, Trinidad. That area, we'll see more storm coverage towards the end of this week. But again, it's not widespread and it's not real significant or severe. We're not going to be adding a whole lot of rain to our deficit. We still maintain slight deficits for many locations, but this front will likely create some unsettled weather for the Front Range this weekend. So you have plans to get down there. I think Thursday night, I don't know where the football game is, but Thursday night we should be good. But once we get into the weekend, if you find yourself along the I-25 corridor, it's very likely you'll get some unsettled conditions for the weekend. A very different pattern for us on the western slope this weekend, as we should maintain mild and mostly dry conditions. And as far as temperatures go, we really feel like exactly where we need to be for early October. Right now we're in the upper 60s at Montrose, mid 70s for the Grand Junction and the Delta areas. We had a bit of a chilly start this morning in Gunnison, slightly temperatures dipping into the upper 20s. Also Crested Butte, even colder start this morning. And while these are not the official highs for the day, remember we're supposed to be around 70 degrees for Montrose. We're supposed to dip into the 72 degree mark for Grand Junction. That's our average high temperature for this time of the year. And as we move forward, remember, those start to cool off a little bit as well. Not expecting a whole lot in the wind department. We have a very mild wind profile. We're talking 10, maybe 15. 15 would be tough. Top wind gusts of the day for Delta, as some of those storms around the Gunnison County actually expressed a little bit towards the Delta airport. But Again, we don't have a whole lot of strong wind gusts, and we don't certainly have any expectation of those strong storm-associated wind gusts. Temperature-wise, we're going to get a cool morning tomorrow. If you find yourself in Pitkin or Gunnison County, the expectation is for some chilly temperatures, but that's a brief dip. And you look at the extended forecast for Grand Junction all the way through this weekend, mid-70s, mostly clear and dry. We'll keep clouds moving through the region because of those storms around the mountain zones and along the divide. And as such, Montrose will see a little bit more storm, or I should say cloud coverage for the weekend. But if you're going to head out to the Apple Fest in Cedar Edge, I really don't think you're going to have much of a problem. Even in that mountain elevation, that community is going to be beautiful, and a couple clouds will help